I'm Darrell Woelk. I'm CTO of Greenroom Technologies. Today, I'm going to talk about generative AI, how to train your dragon. This is a hot topic. I want to thank the Austin HIMSS chapter for having us here today. How to train your dragon. So generative AI is a rising force in healthcare. We've all seen it. It's powerful and promising, but would you trust it to speak with your patients? This shows where the investment, the dollar investments are going into AI applications. And you can see we've got 5 different areas, sectors. You can see a lot of them money's going into life sciences and clinician facing. And in the case of Botco with chatbots has a role in a number of these different sectors. If you're interested in digging into this more, feel free to contact me about opportunities in any of these sectors. We can talk about who these companies are and how they could help in the kind of applications you have. Now, the next slide is kind of the same information, but it's looking at where these types of applications are today. So the x-axis is today on the right, the future on the left. And on the y-axis is simple at the top and complex at the bottom. So in the upper right-hand corner are the applications that are simpler and have early adopters. In the lower left-hand corner, more technology complex and still in the visionary stage. So you can walk through these and look at where your particular problems are, get a feeling for when generative AI or AI in general is going to be helping that. If you're interested in digging into this more, our Bob Teague, who's a chief medical officer for Greenroom, is putting together a series of blogs that'll be coming out, I think, this week that kind of dig into this from a physician's point of view. What are the things that are missing? What are the problems in AI? Okay, so let me talk a little bit about a couple of medical applications, and then I'll turn it over to Jacob and David. When ChatGPT first came on the scene late last year, early this year, OpenAI was the first company to release ChatGPT, and that generated a lot of excitement and publicity. Meta and Google followed pretty quickly with releasing software they'd been working on that had as much power as ChatGPT, but they were not releasing it to the public. They've now released that to the public. People started testing ChatGPT and found that it was successful. Several national benchmarking exams, including SAT, GRE, and the bar exam. Also have a couple of examples here in the medical domain. Reports in January already for using ChatGPT-3. ChatGPT passed 3 exams associated with the United States medical licensing exam at 60% accuracy, which is considered passing. Google has a large language model similar to ChatGPT called FLAN-PALM, and they've been testing it on a number of different types of question answering systems, exam systems, and had claimed that they've improved previous state of the art on a couple of these significantly. The last bullet then is an example of Google is developing something called MedPalm, which is to take FLAN-PALM and through the various types of adaptation, try to improve its accuracy in the medical domain. And so they're claiming that they have improved the performance on a number of different tests and compare favorably with answers by clinicians. However, there are also some interesting articles and reports about hallucinations that ChatGPT has had. And one in particular, a physician who was testing ChatGPT with questions and got an answer that just didn't make sense to him and was completely inaccurate, and tried to get ChatGPT to cite the actual document that it used to make that, to give that answer. ChatGPT hallucinated and created a journal article that didn't exist on a journal that was a real journal, and took two authors who were authors in that journal and created a completely fake journal article and claimed that that's where it got the information. So that's an extreme piece of hallucination. Those of you who've had my webinars before about FHIR interoperability, I won't go into any more detail on that other than FHIR. I think of FHIR as an architecture that not only has a common data healthcare format, but also a common API, and actually a smart on FHIR framework for launching third-party applications out of an EHR, and a framework for registering applications. So it's a way of expanding the reach or the type of capabilities an EHR has using this standard FHIR. And then FHIR Accelerator projects are using those standards then to create standardized processes. For example, the Vinci FHIR Accelerator is using Smart on FHIR and CDS hooks to coordinate prior authorization between providers and insurance companies. So what this means to a generative AI like ChatGPT is that ChatGPT can learn about these higher level modules in the FHIR interoperability architecture. And if you're familiar with, you've heard about code copilots, ChatGPT can generate code by being trained on previous libraries of code in languages like Python. So what it means that to me is that I did some testing with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT was trained up to 2021, includes knowledge of the FHIR data model, FHIR API, Smart on FHIR, CDS hooks. So I was able to test and try out some things with ChatGPT where it was summarizing FHIR resources, it was generating FHIR resources, it was generating FHIR queries, and generating Python source code to execute search using the FHIR API. For the last 3 years, I've been a guest lecturer at the UT School of Information, primarily talking about interoperability. But this past spring, we had a collaboration on some research projects in the School of Information with Dr. Ding and her students using ChatGPT. So a couple of projects I want to talk about here. One is generative AI for training One True Health care navigators. So One True Health is a local Boston startup company that has care navigators that regularly communicate with patients to check on their status, encourage good health and wellness habits. So One True Health provided the students with a mock transcript of a conversation between a care navigator and a patient. And the students then used that mock transcript, provided that in a prompt to ChatGPT, and used various templates to investigate how ChatGPT could be used to train care navigators by interacting with the user by playing the role of either a care navigator or a patient. And that was somewhat successful. They also asked the ChatGPT to create a scoring matrix for things like how empathetic, how much empathy the care navigator had for the patient, and to score conversations on that. And ChatGPT did a pretty good job of kind of coming up with the matrix and then scoring. It also, they had problems with it because when they tried to get it to play the role of a patient, if it didn't think the care navigator was doing a good job, it would switch to being a care navigator, considering it could do a better job than that user was doing as a care navigator. And then the second project was interacting with SandwYch caregivers. So SandwYch is a company that helps caregivers with elderly parents to help and to care for the elderly parents. So the students submitted various prompts to ChatGPT to investigate responses to 10 different categories of the type of questions typically received at SandwYch to see how ChatGPT could help in the interactions with the caregivers. So students scored the ChatGPT responses to various prompt structures and suggested options for leveraging ChatGPT service in SandwYch services. And this included the use of Botco.ai, InstaChat, to incorporate SandwYch specific documentation in the chatbot conversations.